Hi, I'm now with Bella Sykes, who was Super League's Young Player of the Year last year, the Leeds Rhinos. So Bella, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, are you looking forward to the new season?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think it's an exciting time at the club with sort of a new rebuild of the team. It's looking good for this year.
Yeah, you've lost a few players, haven't you? Some experienced players. For you personally, do you think that has helped you to develop your game?
I think so. I think sort of the rebuild of the team's been exciting more than anything. I think we've still got a lot of depth and experience in our team. Obviously, a couple of new signings who are going to bring that experience and existing players that are still there. I think there's no dramas on that side. I think we've got a really experienced side going into the year.
So you clearly got a few goals to settle from last season. What's your own personal ambition for this season? Because you played, you said you played about 25 games for the Rhinos. So you've consolidated yourself. You've won the award, which is great for you personally. So what are you expecting from this season?
I think I'm just expecting to try and play consistently. I think last year I sort of set myself a target of, every opportunity I get to wear the shirt, I try and do myself proud and do the team proud and just work as hard as I can. So I think if I continue to do that this year and work with the team, I think we'll do really well.
Yeah, and I think, is it fair to say that you came from Huddersfield to the Rhinos? So your journey, tell us a little bit about your journey into Rugby League, how you got involved and how it all started for you.
Yeah, so growing up, my dad played for Castleford. So he played over 300 games at Castleford. So growing up watching him, obviously being from a rugby league family, I've always enjoyed being around the sport. And at the age of probably 14, I just finished doing swimming. So I used to swim competitively and was kind of looking at that next sport to move on to. And sort of always thought I'd enjoyed rugby, so I gave it a shot. Got picked up by Giants when I was 16 and played 2 years for them, and then signed at Leeds 2 years ago.
So swimming, is that a good background? Is that a good discipline to have? If you want to be any swimmers out there who think they might want to take up rugby, is that a good discipline to have?
Swimming's tough. I think I used to get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock twice a week when I was literally at primary school. Mum and Dad had to get me up to take me, but that's a discipline, and I think it's hard. Working hard from such a young age just gives you good fitness more than anything, but good discipline to work hard all the time.
And gives you the resilience as well, because that grind of going up and down the pool at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I can't say I actually enjoyed swimming. That's why I stopped doing it. But I did it for 3 or 4 years, and it was pretty tough. So it sort of gives me a good sporting background to go into.
And did you ever think that when you started the game that you would be playing for Rhinos, winning awards, playing at Wembley, the chance of getting to a grand final? That's clearly not what you set out to do, but did you ever think that would happen when you started on this journey?
I don't think I ever thought it was going to happen, but I always knew that the minute I started playing rugby, I always had this drive to do well, and I think that probably started when I played at community level. So I did a year it was called St Joe's at the time in Huddersfield. I just had this drive to want to be better. Every game I wanted to work harder and train harder, and probably since that moment I've just not stopped, and sort of anything good that's come of it I've sort of put down to hard work, and I always will do. But just enjoying the journey and where it's taken me.
My daughters play. So for you, what does that hard work mean? That advice you would give to 13, 14-year-old girls. What does that hard work mean? What does it entail?
I think if I was to give any advice, it'd be start now. I think sort of it's gone really fast. Like playing at 16, I'm now 20. It's 4 seasons in the Super League. It's gone so fast, but I think hard work sometimes is focusing on what you do. I think obviously my time at Giants, I enjoyed it, but it was tough. We were probably one of the lower teams when I was there, and being 16 and playing against St Helens, that was my first game. We lost 92-0 that game, and it was pretty tough to take. And I think you just take learnings all the time, and you need to use that as fuel in everything you do, whether that's getting up at 5 to go to the gym or doing extras before training. Like, they all add up, them 1%ers all add up, and it'll put you in a good spot if you keep doing it.
Yeah, I know, Warrington were on the wrong end of some results like that last season, and my daughter played for the first team in some of those. How do you pick yourself up as a player and as a team when you've had, especially as a young player, how do you stop yourself from becoming disillusioned?
I think it's very tough when you're in a team that maybe aren't getting the performances that you need. And obviously, I did that for 2 years, and it's in a really tough spot. You know, the amount of times I come off the pitch in just floods of tears because I put my all into it. And yeah, maybe the team doesn't do well, but I think it's hard. You've got to be selfish, and you've just got to focus on what you do. And if you do everything you can do in the week, you do everything you can in the game, and the result don't go your way, that's just how it is. But you can't stop. You've just got to keep going.
Yeah, and is there any other advice you would give to any young girls thinking of taking the sport up? You know, when there's so much pressure from football and from other sports that women can now, and rightly so, can be involved in and see a career ahead of them.
I think it's just a very inclusive sport, and there's lots of opportunities now for younger players coming through, and it's such an exciting sport to be a part of, and I enjoy it so much. Like, I've done netball growing up, I've done swimming, and just the team gets around everyone, and like I say, I just enjoy it, and that's why I do it and why I work so hard, because I enjoy what I do.
Yeah, so what's a typical day for you? I mean, do you work you work outside of the sport?
Yeah.
What do you do outside of rugby?
I'm a student at Leeds Beckett, so I'm doing a PE degree. So I'm in my second year of that, and then I also work part-time for the foundation doing PE teaching in school, so I do that 2 or 3 times a week, and then obviously training as well.
Yeah, so is it hard to get that balance? Because again, that is something that could impact on girls coming into the sport, that juggling of a job, studying, training.
Yeah, it's not easy. I think I remember sort of when I was 16, I used to go to college or school, then I'd go to work and do 3 hours at work after school, and then I'd go to training, and I'd do that like 3 times a week, which it does take a lot out of you, but if you keep doing it, it'll pay off in the end.
And what are your hopes and expectations for this season?
I think hopes and expectations is that we just continue to focus on ourselves as a team, and that we get the results in the big games, which I think we missed out on last year. I think probably the round games we actually performed really well in, and then it came to the big games and probably we dropped off a little bit. So it's just making sure we're consistent and making sure in the big moments that we're where we need to be.
It's brilliant. Well, thanks very much for your time.